Welcome Midtown Podcast, back again this week.
What up?
What's up, Austin?
How you doing, man?
I'm really, really good, man. It's a really sweet season right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it sweet?
I don't know, where you kind of anticipate all the things, and then you kind of get to this place where all those things are coming to this like point of contact where yeah, you get to see some things take place and solidify, and it's just kind of exciting to be in the mix of all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah. Been in all the seasons, but these are fun to see the fruition of work at times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. And that's a blessing to see that stuff like come to fruition too. Because
Yeah.
for a while you're just like, is this gonna happen?
Yes. That's a little bit of what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Maybe you're in that season where you just kind of wonder, like, is this ever going to happen? Am I ever going
Yeah.
to see? Yeah. So it's really, really, I think we all understand that, feel that.
Yeah, man. Man, I feel that.
So when's the next worship night coming up with you guys?
Dude, 2 days.
In 2 days.
In 2 days on Friday night,
What's the date of that?
August 29th.
Hmm.
We have a new building. We, as of a week and a half ago, didn't have a building.
Yeah.
Honestly, a week ago we didn't have a building. But it was super wild because I was in the middle of emailing like the last building we were in, basically just like, bro, just one more. Can we just do one more? But as I was typing out that email, I got a call from the guy that owned the space. So I was like, all right, Lord, cool.
It's right on time.
Right on time. And so we went and checked it out yesterday. We're gonna pull up there and we'll just be there once, but it's gonna be sweet, man.
How awesome is that? Right on time, man.
Right on time.
That's what we're saying too. So at Midtown, which is the church that we go to on Sundays, we've been looking for space and all this and that, and we've been house to house, like just going here and there, wherever the Spirit of God would lead. And
Always
we've been
ends
open.
up right on time.
Bro, literally, I feel like this what the Lord's doing in this season, though. It's not just sermons that get preached or like get talked about. I believe He's like walking His people down this road of encounter and experience in this day. And so yesterday, just like you, which is really interesting, it's like yesterday, go down to this place and we're meeting and we find out that like this place is at the dead center, like right in the middle of Knox City. And they open their doors to us and we will be Midtown at the very middle of the city.
Yeah, we will.
Right on time, the week our rent was being released, and so we needed a new spot, so we're going right to the middle. So from Cedar Bluff to Oak Ridge to campus to right in the middle.
Yeah.
It was quite a journey to get to the middle, but we find ourselves right in the middle.
We're there.
It's wild.
And I think one thing that's really interesting is I think from our side of it, it's easy to like, I mean, I'll speak for myself. Maybe you feel this way. It's easy to think like, man, I'm tired of like having all these people in the unknown, dragging these people around. But I've had people lately, and it's been very encouraging. They're like, I kind of like it because it forces us to depend on Him.
Yeah.
And it forces us to like remain in a humble posture, and it keeps it authentic.
Yeah.
You know,
It really does keep you with
because it's
hands
easy
open.
to get comfortable whenever you're in the
Yeah.
like locationally, like when you're in the same spot physically, it's
Mhm.
easy to get comfortable.
Yeah, really see that. People came up to me and they were just kind of like, I feel like I got this word. And he said, as we were talking about moving here to there, he said the verse came to my mind that the Son of Man has no place to lay his head.
Yeah.
It's this real experience
Wow.
that you have no place to lay your head, but you live hands open walking with Him, and He's really guiding. And it's not just verses that we've memorized or sermons we've heard and we're encouraged by. We get to live in that experiential understanding, the knowledge, the revelation of what God is doing. And I'm finding like the joy of that journey of seeing Him in a way that I've known these facts. But guys, to be honest with you, when I'm put in that position, like maybe you feel this, but like when we're put in that position, I don't know if I fully believe that. And the more I experience, the more I'm like, I'm pretty sure I've seen Him come through. I know He's faithful. Here's how He does it. And I'm standing up like by faith being like, it'll be right on time. And not knowing what I'm about to see, but knowing what I'm about to see.
That is one thing that I've been sitting on a lot lately is how we have to live in the remembering. Like
Yeah.
we have to remember,
Yeah.
because it's when we forget when we start believing those things, you know. But
Yeah.
it's also like human nature, and I see like Jesus walking with the disciples, and they forget so often. But Jesus is like, he's so like direct and clear, but it's not like, he's not like, seriously, you forgot? Like, no, he's like a, he's happy to remind us,
Yeah.
you know, and he
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
He will remind
He
us.
does. He does.
It changes how he reminds us every time. But man, that was one thing that I was wrestling with yesterday. Honestly, I was like, all of this, like, it's kind of like you can take a deep breath, but like whiplash
Yeah.
sometimes, you know.
You
But
mean from going like place to place?
place to place, but then also other things. It's just like transitions and the Bible studies or the communities and like just things like that, man. You're like, what is happening?
All over the place.
But it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's like not a bad thing.
No.
But I was really just sitting in John 14. I think it was 27. And it was really cool. It was just like, it's when Jesus says, "Peace I leave with you. May peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives." And it's just like, I do not give to you as the world gives.
Wow.
If I am sitting here, this is what I feel like the Lord really said to me. He's like, if you expect me to give you peace in the way that you expect me to, then you're going to miss it.
Yeah.
Because if you're focused on how you expect me to move, then you're not going to see how I'm moving.
Yeah.
Because rarely does he move in the way that we expect him to.
Right. And I often expect him the way I've seen it done here. And he doesn't operate like the world operates.
Right.
Yeah. And that's kind of, you know, I've heard a lot of the questions and the conversation around like something like revival.
Yeah.
And I think we've heard that a lot, and I am all on board. I've prayed for years that revival would take place in my city and far beyond. And it's kind of the lane we wanted to talk a little bit about. What does revival look like biblically? Our expectation of revival, how sometimes in our expectation of revival, we can be disappointed, which leads to doubt, which leads to unbelief, which leads to discouragement, and down the line. And what does it look like to have a biblical expectation of revival, and then seeing that explosion of life?
Yeah. Yeah. I think revival is one of those words that's thrown around a lot in our culture. We've talked about that a little bit on this podcast, but like, I think one thing that I really sat on earlier this year is like, I think we confuse revival with like a stirring oftentimes, but revival is coming from death to life. It's not just like pockets, you know, like revival is the thing.
Yeah.
What do you think like about that, about how revival's perceived? What's the Lord been speaking to you about revival?
There's a lot of things. Maybe like, so people have described like what you're doing as like almost like front end of a revival.
Yeah.
And what Adventure Junkies is a part of. But when you think about how that started, did you set out to start revival? No. You set out why? What happened?
It happened because we were praying for each other in our city.
Yeah.
That's
Authentically and genuinely.
In community.
You're not trying to pursue this ideal of what that looked like. You were just living the heart of revival. And in fact, I would say you entered into revival in that way.
Yeah. We experienced revival ourselves personally.
Yeah.
And from that, the unity that came from that, like, hey, you've experienced that personally. I experienced that personally. And then whenever you start living that out together, it draws other people in because they're like, whoa, I experienced that too.
Right.
And honestly, I don't even have anything in common with you but the revival I've experienced with Jesus.
Right.
So let's just do it.
That's why when I think about an explosion of life, I think about what the word indicates. You know, the word, Jesus says that unless a seed falls to the ground and dies, it can't bear fruit. So in the midst of a death of a seed, there's this explosion of life that takes place.
Yeah.
But we really don't set out for the explosion. We set out in the place of surrender, and then the explosion of life takes place. And so I'm not after this, my ideal of a ministry movement that looks like X, Y, Z, and it is this sweeping movement in this way, and here's
Yeah.
how we're going to do that and systematically create it. How can we do that unless life happens? And who's
Yeah.
the giver of life? And who breathes upon this? And how does it take place? And so when I think about revival, I think about first what Jesus said. Revival starts from death to life.
Yeah.
And there is an explosion of life when the seed gives up its life, and then the elements hit it, the
Yeah.
light, the watering, the care of God that causes things to grow. Then revival but it is a surrendering and a death of
Yeah.
self, I think. And I think we often start out with this pursuit of revival where we haven't quite died and we have our idea
Yeah.
about how that's going to take place. And oftentimes I'm at the center of what that means. And I'm just saying true revival is surrendering up myself to the one who is life,
Yeah.
and then letting his life manifested in through me.
I mean, it reminds me of the parable of the wineskins. It's the same thing, but it's like if we don't throw out the old wineskin, then whenever the new wine, like this is like a real thing, like new wine will burst an old wineskin because of the acidity.
Yeah.
You have to have a new wineskin in order for the new wine to be held in it, you
Right.
know? And it's the same thing. We got to throw away. I think oftentimes we don't throw away the old wineskin.
Yeah.
We soak in a little bit of the new wine, but then we end up bursting, and that leads to burnout, that leads to hurt, that leads to all these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're trying to create movements we've seen, or we're mimicking
Yeah.
things that we've seen God have his hand on. And in fact, he has a different ideal of revival in and through you.
Yeah.
And yeah, by his spirit in a different way
Yeah.
today.
We want to replicate things.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's easy to look at something that was powerful, that was really good. I want to do that.
Yeah.
But I think we forget that what you just said, he wants to do a new thing that
Right.
looks unique. Like, it's not going to look the same.
Right.
You have different giftings. You're around different people. You've had a different story. You're in a different place.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to look the same.
Yeah. And that's what one of the things that I've been thinking about is the words to the churches at the end of the Bible, where he talks specifically to this church in Ephesus. And he tells them basically, I'm really proud of you guys. You've endured through a lot. You've not like accepted false prophets. You've tested them and seen them, and you've done work of ministry. But then he says, but this one thing I have against you, that you have left your first love. Turn back to the way you were at first. And if you don't, here's what's going to happen. And he says, I'm going to remove the lampstand. And when I think about revival, I think about so many times in my own life, I've thought about, how do I create that lampstand? How do I keep that lampstand there? How do I just manage that thing? In reality, the scriptures talk about Jesus being the manager of that lampstand, the flame that burns in the night that causes people to see and know where to go and how to go. And when the lampstand's removed, there begins to be confusion and blindness within that place and around it, and nobody's drawn to it. And so who manages that flame of revival? It's our King.
Oh, that's
And
good.
so I don't have all the power I think I have, but I do have this, and my call is to be obedient to him. And in that obedience, it's like, come back to the place. And I read Jeremiah 2:2, and Jeremiah 2:2 describes the love of a first marriage. And then the love it was before the fields were like sown and before they were tilled up. So before I looked out over this land and I said, do you see all my work? Look, all these fields. It was before anything was there. Go back to that moment when you had nothing. All you had was right now, and your hands were open to him. You're like, Lord, what do you see here? Because I can't possibly do this unless you show up, and it's just you. And there's where I think revival starts, is just in the intimate place with him.
Yeah. Say that thing that you said about fire again.
You talk about the lampstand,
Yeah.
about how he's the one who manages that fire.
Yeah.
He's the one. And I often think about how to manage the fire, how to not, move that fire, or how to put it there. It's like the manager of that fire is said in Revelation to be Jesus himself.
Yeah.
If we don't stay in this lane with him, he will remove it, because it is not in the best interest of all of those people to be around it, because it's not going to be good for them. And he's a good shepherd.
Yeah.
He's going to lead them into like the holy flame of God.
Yeah. That reminded me of in Leviticus chapter 6. I haven't read this in forever, but it's talking about the burnt offering. And the burnt offering itself must remain on the altar all night until morning. And it says later on, the fire on the altar is to be kept burning. It must not go out. Fire must be kept burning on the altar continually. It must not go out. The
Yeah.
fire remains on the altar,
Yeah.
you know? And then you have all of this journey through the Old Testament to the New, and Jesus is the fire, you
Yeah.
know? Like, that's exactly what it is. And I just reminded of that, and I'm just like, dude, whoa,
Yeah.
that's insane,
Yeah.
you know?
And ultimately, that first love is recognizing who is also that sacrifice on the altar was him. He's the fire. He's
Yeah.
the sacrifice. He is everything. And we get to live in the grace of him being all of those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe I think, as we listen to this, it's a good point to remember. Is he all of those things for me?
Yeah.
And oftentimes my great disappointment is that he's not doing this or he's not doing that. But does he have that in our life? Like, if he's my sacrifice and if he's my fire and if he is all those things, all I have is to do is to sit and watch and admire.
Yeah.
And I get to live thankful. And as I live thankful, I am operating in revival.
Yeah.
That is a revived soul.
That's good.
And I believe we were meant to be revival people, living fully awake, fully alive, fully on fire. And that can happen now. You don't have to wait for some like instant moment. Like, that is able to be stepped into. The door is open.
Revival starts with you and me.
Yeah.
When we experience revival for ourselves, that's where it starts. It doesn't start over there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It starts here.
And then he draws you where you need to be. In the midst of revival,
Yeah.
he calls the people to that fire. And
That's so good.
all of us are joining around one common fire. And it's just Jesus, man.
Yeah. Wow. That's so good. Joining around the fire. In a different way, I was reading this book, and he was talking about fire kind of in a similar way, and it's a little bit different, but he was like, I got to a point in my journey, he's talking about experiencing self-revival. I got to a point in my journey where I got tired of dancing around other people's fires. I just jumped in myself. Just jump in the fire.
Yeah.
You know?
It was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I've jumped in fire before, and then slowly but surely, man, something happened to where I got off track, and I got really disappointed in what I thought revival would be. And I felt like, I was stirred up and I'm on fire. And then you start looking around and you're looking at other people for confirmation, for a following, for all these things. And you get discouraged. And I've just found myself disappointed in God at times, or in the moment, I blame God for those things.
Yeah.
But in reality, I'm realizing that it wasn't him. That wasn't even his heart for me. It was my heart for him that was the little bit off. And his heart for me was always to be on fire.
That's good.
And I think I walked out of that for a while, and I think he's drawing me back just like he does, like so kindly. Yeah. But one of those verses that really spoke to me, and maybe as you listen, it may speak to you because you had this expectation about what revival looked like. Maybe you were on fire once upon a time, and somewhere along the way, you got disappointed, and disappointment led to discouragement. Discouragement led to disbelief. And I was reading the other day, and it struck me so profoundly, because it brought me back to my remembrance of what I believed revival would look like.
It's good.
And I thought it would be this explosive thing where everybody would jump in this wildly and be eager to do it. Yeah. And when it didn't happen like that, I got really discouraged. And then I questioned God and say, hey, man, is this your idea of revival? Because I'm not sure I believe in this one. And this is not as easy as I thought it would be.
Yeah. Wow.
And I was equating revival with the sweeping movement that depended upon other people.
Yeah. And a feeling almost.
Absolutely.
I think we equate revival with a feeling.
Yeah.
Same thing with like saying I'm on fire. What if you're on fire when you don't feel like you're on fire?
Yeah.
I think the fire tends to go out not when we stop feeling like we're on fire, but whenever we start like acting like we're on fire.
Yeah.
You know,
And
like
believing
moving
something
forward,
different.
believing something different.
Yeah. I don't believe I'm on fire because I don't have that
Yeah,
same feeling I had in the beginning. Well, really?
yeah, because the scripture says, we just read it, like the fire's on the altar.
Yeah.
So return to the altar. That's
Yeah.
where the fire is. If you want to remain on fire, go to the fire.
Ooh.
Go jump in.
Yeah.
It's not gonna
Yeah.
feel good. It
Yeah.
might burn sometimes. You
Mm-hmm.
got to burn some stuff away. It's like Isaiah Isaiah in Isaiah 6 when he holds the coal up to his
Yeah.
lips and it says all of my iniquities are burned away. But it was the coal from the altar
Yeah.
that the seraphim was bringing over to him.
Yeah.
That held up to his lips.
It's good, man. Yeah, I think about us being the temple, actually,
Yeah,
and our job as priests is to maintain that fire, like tend
yeah,
it, care for it, fan the flame, the
yeah,
gift. But that altar, like that is unto one sacrifice, Jesus.
yeah,
And I steward that care in my own heart of just seeing him and worshiping him for who he is. But when I thought about revival, and maybe you're feeling this way, when I go back to this verse, here's what it says. It's in Luke 8. He's talking about good soil. And he says, as for those in the good soil, which is the word that lands in good soil, they are those who, hearing the word. So I get a word, I get that seed, and it starts to bear fruit. Hold it fast. It means like to guard it and not let it go
yeah,
in an honest and good heart, and bear fruit with patience. I think that is the place where I thought revival would be easy and explosive and happen like a microwave, and it would happen for all, and it can, but my experience has been much more bearing fruit with patience.
yeah,
So letting that fire grow something in time the way it's going to grow it,
yeah,
and holding on to it and not leaving it, and not being driven by waves or wind or people or opinions or circumstances or no building or this or
yeah,
that, is just driven by that holding on to him and him being everything.
yeah. All of it starts at his feet.
Yeah. And then I think if we do that, and just talking to everybody who's listening, if we begin to live in that lane,
Mm.
I'm far less disappointed in you.
Yeah,
And you have no bearing on my position in Christ based upon what you do. And if you're not operating in that fire, I know my role in your life is to come and fan a flame of encouragement and remind you to where that fire comes from. And I think if we all begin to operate in revival mentality, living out revival together, that fire begins to burn very, very bright.
yeah,
And so if you're waiting on somebody to be the revival starter, the invitation is for all of us to live in flame.
yeah. So good.
Yeah.
That's so good, man.
You're invited.
Yeah,
You are called. You are chosen. You are forgiven. You are set apart. You are holy. You are his. You are son. You are daughter. Do you believe that?
yeah. Ooh.
And if you don't, what do you believe?
Yeah,
And then I want to ask you this. Who told you that?
yeah,
And if it's not Jesus, go back to the fire
yeah,
and let him speak to you at that place of burning.
yeah. That's so good.
It's good to remember.
Yeah,
I needed remembering,
yeah,
And that's our role. We help each other remember
yeah.
through the power of the Holy Spirit.
Remember, don't set expectations.
Oh. How can I box God in?
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
yeah.
I'm
Exactly.
not sure I want to. Definitely don't want to. Yeah.
Oh man, that's a good encouragement, Jay. I think to me and to everybody, go to the fire.
Yeah.
Don't stop going to the fire. But start with like, do you believe you're those things? If you're not, now you know where to go.
Yeah.
Identify it. Pursue it.
Mm-hmm.
Seek it.
Yeah. And nothing of this world is really able to stop that fire,
Right.
says the word. And so if I'm blaming XYZ for no fire,
Yeah.
then who told you that? We don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but principality and power. So I have to understand in the spirit what's actually taking place. So the invitation or the temptation is to believe something that God never said.
Yeah.
And I understand who comes and says those things. It is spirit. So now I fight spiritually to win what's manifest in the physical.
It's good.
It's
good.
And so encouragement, like if you're beginning to hear those things, by the authority of Jesus, just be like, hey, be quiet.
Yeah.
Like no more. And grab the thought and hold fast the word of God and don't let it go in an honest heart. Be honest with yourself and then hold it tight.
Yeah.
And then watch it begin to grow and flourish into something. But it may take some time.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And if you're expecting microwave, and it's never guaranteed in there to be a microwave experience, And so, but I know we got a lot of microwave meals these days,
Yeah, man.
We're coming back to a place outside of the microwave, though, I think.
I think we are.
There's
I
a hunger
think we're moving to the
There's
end.
a hunger for real food,
Right.
Like I want the real stuff. I want to have a garden outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of that.
Cooking over fires now.
Yeah, let's go back.
Let's go back.
I grew a watermelon in my garden.
Oh, really?
A real one.
How big is it?
It was huge. I ate it. It was great.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never had a fresh watermelon.
How crazy is it to say that? I've never eaten a fresh watermelon grown in a garden. From mine. I would never.
Yeah.
Like, bottom of the grocery. They do taste different. They have seeds in them. Did you know watermelons have like black seeds?
Yeah. Whenever I was a kid, I used to freak out because I thought a watermelon was going to grow in my stomach.
Yeah. It's funny, but like I remember those, but I just never really.
Do the ones in the
those
stores
anymore.
not have seeds?
Most of them don't. And
Really?
they taste like candy now.
How do they get the seeds out of them?
I think they're like genetically modified.
Oh,
Yeah. Crossbred with no seeds.
start
Who
a
knows?
garden.
Yeah.
Why take the seeds out of them?
I don't know. Well, I guess they taste weird. I don't know.
I don't know.
There is a lot of seeds in those.
You put salt in your watermelon?
No, I heard about
Bro.
that though.
Do it.
Yeah, my grandparents used to do some of that stuff. That's like Southern living kind of stuff.
Bro, it's so good.
Really?
Yeah, bro.
I don't know.
It's a wild contrast. It's good.
Really?
It's good. It pulls the flavor out more.
Interesting.
Try it. Try it.
Salt pulls the flavor out. Okay.
Salt pulls the flavor out.
I'm going to try it. Man.
This is a fire combo.
Yeah. I really appreciate it, bud.
Yeah. Now you know more about revival and watermelons.
Yeah. You never know.
Never know.
Well, if you have comments, questions, thoughts, feel free to send them in. And we look forward to hearing from you guys.
Yeah.
Austin, it's an honor to sit with you today, man.
Yeah. You too, man.
It's a blessing.
Yeah. Love y'all. See y'all soon.